Hi, my name is Tamara. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today we are talking about beginner's guide to niche fragrances. So if you want to tap into some niche fragrances and you don't know where to start, then keep on watching. Before I really got into niche, I was only a designer girly. I used to get my fragrances from Macy's, Sephora, and Ulta. And then after a while, once I got my nose on the Lena exclusive, as I've shared before, that was my first niche fragrance, and from then I just never looked back. So if you want to get into niche fragrances and you don't know where to start, I think these 6 to 7 fragrances that we're going to talk about are good starting point. They're not overly complex. Niche fragrances are, by the way, let's talk about what is the difference between designer and niche fragrances. Designer fragrances are normally done by designer houses, people who make bags, they make clothes, they make shoes, and they also make fragrances. Fragrances are just one of the many things that they do. However, when you go to niche houses, all they make are fragrances. So you find that those fragrances are a little bit more complex, they last a little bit longer, and you tend to smell different from everybody else. So that's the major difference between the designer and the niche. And of course, the niche can be a little bit more expensive, but designer are getting up there. Their prices are starting to get into the designer side. So that's the difference. Now let's jump into the fragrances that I think are really good starting point. The first one we're going to be talking about is Greenwich Village, and this one comes from the house of Bond number 9. So this one is very fruity. It has some white florals in there, but it has that amber and that musk in the base. Pretty girly scent. Now a lot of people say it has remnants of Baccarat Rouge 540, which I do see. However, Baccarat Rouge is a little bit sweeter. The musk is stronger in this one. Sillage is good. Longevity is amazing. It's not going to project, and it's not beast mode. It's going to give you about, I want to say it's going to give you about 6 to 8 hours on your clothes if you spray heavy. So for this one is great for all year round, and it can be a signature scent. I would say this is for someone about 35 or more. It's more of a mature scent. It has the cassis and the mandarin orange in the opening, so a little bit fresh and fruity, but then you have the jasmine, the ambroxan in the base. And I think that's where they're getting the similarities for Baccarat Rouge with the jasmine and the ambroxan. But then you have the musk as well that is there, and you're smelling the musk. Now it's not overly musky, so I wouldn't say that musk is taking over the scent. It's more of a floral scent with that musk to support it. Again, sillage is moderate, longevity is good. People will have to come into your bubble. It's not a beast mode. People are not going to smell you before they see you. This is, they have to come into your presence to smell you. But once they do, you're going to smell good. This is not even though Bond number 9 do have some very complex scent, this one I think is not very complex. If you love your designer with some jasmine and some musk, then this is a good introduction to that, because it's not overly complex as others from the same house. And again, this is Greenwich Village from Bond number 9. Now the next one we're going to be talking about is Windflowers, and this comes from the house of Creed. This is your sweet, powdery, florally scent. It has some musk again, very sweet. It has the sweetness in there. It's very powdery in the dry down with the musk. You're gonna get a little bit of creaminess from the sandalwood, but it's not overly powdery or creamy. This is great for summer and spring. This I would say is for a classy babe. This is your elegant. This is not your Creed DNA, because if you know Creed, you know Creed can be very musky and very unisex. This is really girly. It's very feminine. It's very classy. I think this is good for like a wedding. You're going to an event. You're going to a baby shower, or even a dinner or a brunch. This is early dinner though, not late dinner. Early dinner or brunch. This is what I would recommend for spring, summer. It's not overly complex, does last on your skin and clothes. Now this one has jasmine and orange blossom and peach in the opening, and that's what's giving that fruitiness and that freshness. But then it has the jasmine, the tuberose, and the musk in the base with some iris and praline that's gonna sweeten it up a little bit. Overall, really good, not overly complex. Again, this is a good step up from your designer. into the niche house or into even the house of Creed. This is your pretty girl, girly, feminine scent. And this one again is Windflowers from the house of Creed. Now, 100 Silent Ways. This is, a lot of people say that this one smells like black opium, and you know, they're very similar. So I guess if you like black opium, you may like this one. It doesn't have the coffee note that's in black opium though, but this is not overly complex. This is from the house of Nishani, by the way, and this is 100 Silent Ways. This is not, Nishani they have some really complex scent. This one is not complex at all. Again, this is a really midpoint. I feel like this is a midpoint to, this is a good midpoint to niche. I think you have designer, then something like this, and then you have niche. It is not overly complex at all. I wouldn't say it's worth the full price. If you could find this on discounters, that's where I think you could buy it, where you can get a good price for it, because again, it's not complex. It does project and it lasts long. I would say that, and it's a compliment getter. This one opens up with the peach, the mandarin orange, but then it dries down to a sandalwood vanilla mix. You get a little bit of creaminess from the sandalwood, but not overly creamy. And it has some vanilla, which sweetens up a little bit. Very musky. You're gonna have some wooden notes in there as well. That gives it a little bit depth. I really don't see, I have a very small bottle of black opium, but I do plan to get it in the fall. But I kind of see the comparison, but they go in totally different direction. Black opium is more of a fall scent with that coffee, that strong coffee note in there. This one I think is all year round, and it can also be signature scent. Again, it's not overly complex. It doesn't smell like your typical designer scent, but it's not overly complex where if you're getting into niche, you wouldn't like this. I feel like anybody who is just really getting into niche fragrances, this they can tolerate. Very beautiful, long lasting. Sillage is amazing, longevity is amazing, and again, can't go wrong. And this is 100 Silent Ways from Nishani. Now, Love Tuberose comes from the house of Amouage. And if you know Amouage is very complex. You got to try it before you buy it. And some of them you really have to be in niche, or you have to really love niche fragrances to love some of them. This one I think is a good introduction. This one or Love Delight. Love Delight just came out. That's also another good one. Very soft, very powdery, very creamy. Now with this one, you have to love tuberose. As it says, it's a Love Tuberose. You have to love your tuberose in your fragrances to love this one, because it's heavy on tuberose. However, you're gonna get some sweetness and some creaminess in this as well. It has the whipped cream in there and the vanilla that is really giving it some sweetness and some creaminess. Overall, very beautiful. This, even though Amouage is normally known as a complex house, this one or even the Love Delight is a really good introduction to the house. So if you want to get into the house of Amouage and you don't know where to start, I would say Love Delight first, because Love Delight is more mass appealing. If you love tuberose, I would say get your nose on Love Tuberose. This one I think is great for wedding, or a baby shower, or even if you're taking part in a wedding. This would also be good for some reason I see a bride in this scent. Very creamy, very powdery, a little bit sweet but not overly sweet, and then of course it has some woody notes or some musk in the base. And overall a good introduction to the house of Amouage. Love Tuberose. Love Delight, which is the other one I was talking about, is more of a, I think it's more mass appealing. It's really beautiful, but that one has the note of ginger. It has ginger in there, and it has some cacao and some vanilla, which is also gonna sweeten it up as well. That one doesn't project. They're both not beast mode. This one projects more, it lasts longer, but Love Delight is gonna last on your skin, but it's not beast mode, or it's not, sillage is not amazing, it's more moderate. And that one, Love Delight, I think would be good for like work, meeting, or even some special occasion. Now the next one we're going to be talking about is Dama Bianca, and this comes from the house of Djerzhov. Djerzhov has quite a few complex scents that you really have to love your niche fragrances, or your nose is trained to really love that house. But this one, I think, even though it's a vanilla scent, The opening is not vanilla. You're gonna get the freshness when you first spray this one, and the freshness comes from the kumquat and the lime in this one. But as it dries down to a powdery, creamy vanilla scent. And of course it has some musk in there as well. It does have some other floral notes in there as well, but it's a vanilla scent. It's a beautiful soft life. It's a beautiful vanilla scent. This gives me soft life. This gives me bride getting married in the summertime, because this is a really good summer or spring fragrance. This gives me bride. It gives me baby shower again. It gives me brunch. That's it. I wouldn't say dinner or going out at night. I would say more daytime, or if you're going to something like a special occasion, or even graduation or something like that. This is in the summertime. This is what I would recommend. Very girly, very pretty, very nice take on vanilla. It's not gourmand. It's not super vanilla. It's not super sweet, but it's powdery, it's musky, and it has that vanilla, strong vanilla presence. Love this one. I think if you want to get into Xerjoff, the House of Xerjoff, and you love your vanilla scent, this is a good start. This is a good way to start to kind of dibble and dabble in that house. If you watch me, you know that this is one of my favorite vanilla, one of my favorite summer fragrance. It is just amazing. Now, not gonna give you, it's not long lasting. I'm gonna be honest with you. 6 hours and it's done. You have to re-up this one. But listen, it is worth a decant. I would say if you're going somewhere longer than that, get a decant, put it in your purse. It is worth it. It's not beast mode, sillage is moderate, so people have to come close to smell you. However, it's just a beautiful vanilla scent. And this is from the House of Xerjoff, and this is Dama Bianca. Now the final one we're going to be talking about, I've talked about this fragrance so many times. This is top 3, top 4 now that I have now that I have guidance, top 4 most complimented fragrance, and this comes from the House of Mezenzer, and this is For Your Love. They also have another one that's called Treasure, which is also another beautiful introduction to the house. The house is not a complex house. It's really not a complex house. I think that house, the House of Mezenzer, is more of a classy, elegant house. If you're looking for a nice, classy scent, something that's gonna, you know, you're gonna stand out, it's not gonna break the bank, but you're gonna stand out, you're gonna get compliments, and you're gonna smell different, I would say Treasure or For Your Love is a good starting point. That house really, I think most of their fragrances are designed to just be classy and be different. This one is a musky scent. This one opens up with the fruits, and it has the raspberry in the opening as well. Now it does have patchouli. You have to love your patchouli to love this one, because it's heavy on patchouli. Now I would say this is more mature. If you're under 30, you may not appreciate this scent. I would say you have to be over 30. It's more of a mature scent. People also compared this one to Baccarat Rouge 540. Yes, I would say they're like a cousin. They're like not even a close cousin. They're like a second or third cousin. They're not close at all, but I do see where they're coming from when they say, you know, it smells like it, but I wouldn't say they go in totally different direction. This dries down to a more of an ambery, musky scent than Baccarat Rouge, but nonetheless, this is beautiful. The dry down is where you're really gonna see that magic. The dry down is everything for me. It's a powdery but not overly powdery musky scent. If you love powdery scent, they do have one poudre something that is really powdery. That's really also very pretty, but that's more powdery than this one. So if you're into powdery scent and you want to get into the House of Mezenzer, I would say Poudre something. That's the one to try. But if you're looking for something with just an amber, something simple, ambery, musky scent, then I would say this one or Treasure. Treasure is really pretty too. It's a pretty girl, classy, you know, sensual scent as well. But this is just everything. This is, before I got guidance, this was top 3 most complimented fragrance. I've had people ask me, write it down, where can I get it? It's long lasting, it projects. People are gonna smell you. Once you enter a room, people are gonna smell you. Even when you leave, it does leave a scent trail. Lasts all day. I used to wear it to work, and I tell you, it lasts all day. 8+ hours on my clothes. Beautiful scent, very powdery, musky, floral scent. And this one comes from the house of Miss Zenzor, and this is For Your Love. And that's it. Those are the fragrances, those are the recommendations that I have for you today. These are not complex, they're long lasting, they do smell different from designer, but they're not overly complex. So if you're just starting out into niche fragrance, or you want to start getting into niche fragrance, or you want to start a collection of niche fragrances, then I think these would be my go-to first. This would be a step up into niche. They're long lasting, they're gonna smell different, you're gonna get compliments, and it's not gonna break the bank. I would say the most expensive one is Windflowers from my list, and it's not even worth it, to be honest with you. I would say try getting it from a discounters. Same thing with 100 Silent Ways. If you can get it on one of those discounters side, I would go for that. For all of them, if you can get it from discounters, go there first, because they're a little bit pricey. However, they are beautiful. They're worth the penny. Most of them, not this one, but they're worth the penny. And they're gonna be a step up from your designer, from your everyday designer fragrances. If you are into niche fragrances, what was your first niche purchase? Mine was the Lena exclusive, and it is still one of my favorite fragrance to date. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, just subscribe, because you like what you see, and I would love to see you in the next one. Bye.